We have a major update on the Leon Rose and Rich Paul situation. According to an NBA insider, both sides are receptive to having a meeting, and that meeting could happen sooner rather than later. That means that Leon Rose might be preparing to make a major move. We're going to break down this and so much more today. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Leon Rose is close to having a meeting with Rich Paul of Klutch Sports. As we first reported a few days ago, Leon Rose and Rich Paul of Klutch Sports need to meet. They need to have a meeting before any type of trade can go down. And recently, as we heard, the New York Knicks are interested in Dejounte Murray. And because of that, it seems like Leon Rose and the Knicks are going to meet with Rich Paul to see if they can clear the air to hopefully get a trade going. According to NBA insider Steph Bondy, he reports the following. Dejounte Murray, the Klutch client and 27-year-old former All-Star, is reportedly on the trading block, and according to SNY, considered an ideal target for the Knicks. That would be a huge deal for the Knicks, the biggest trade of the Rose era, and provide Jalen Brunson with a top-rate backcourt mate. Per sources, the Knicks aren't keen on trading for Levine, who is also being shopped, but without a robust market. Here's the major part of the report here by Steph Bondy. He notes, there's a very real possibility of peace between the Knicks front office and Klutch. As SNY reported, Paul would consider changing his posture if a meeting were coordinated and his issues were addressed. My understanding is that both sides have been receptive to a sit-down, and it could happen soon. What a massive update that we have here from Steph Bondy from the New York Post. As you just heard, he is reporting that Leon Rose and Rich Paul are actually close to having a meeting set and done to actually clear the air, get all the issues addressed, so hopefully Klutch clients can start being traded back to the New York Knicks. Because as of right now, that just doesn't seem to happen. And say what you want to say about the situation, but in my opinion, this matter got a lot worse after the Cam Reddish situation. Once that situation happened with Cam Reddish, he didn't get any playing time like that. He was traded, and then in his first interview after leaving the New York Knicks, he states it was political. It was not about basketball. Obviously, when you hear that, and you're Rich Paul, his agent, and you hear that, it's going to sour your taste about sending some of your clients and your agents over to the New York Knicks, because why would you want to do that given the issues that you're hearing Cam Reddish experiencing under Leon Rose? You're not going to want to send your clientele there. I don't know if that's the only issue or factor into this situation, but it could definitely be playing a part into why both sides don't see eye to eye and have issues ongoing right now. But it would definitely help the Knicks to clear the air and fix the situation. Klutch represents a lot of premier clients, not only Zach LaVine, but clearly one of their ideal targets as reported by SNY in Dejounte Murray. The Knicks have been linked to Dejounte Murray ever since he was a Spur, but obviously they couldn't get him when he was a Spur because he wanted to play with Trae Young. Now obviously that's not working. Now he's back on the trade block again. The Knicks have another opportunity to swing at him and potentially get him on this roster and pair him with Jalen Brunson. Something reportedly that they've wanted to do for the last few years, but obviously they weren't able to do. Now they get their chance. They might be able to pair Dejounte Murray with Jalen Brunson if they can trade for him. But before a trade can happen, the air has to be clear. Klutch has to be okay with the Knicks and Leon Rose. And once that is good and everything is taken care of in that regard, then we can start talking about trades for Dejounte Murray, what it could look like, and how he could help complement what the Knicks are looking to build in the East. Because I think Murray on the Knicks is an absolute lethal dose in the backcourt if you have Jalen Brunson as part of that as well too. You have an all-defense, all-star player in Dejounte Murray. You have a player in Jalen Brunson who's basically an all-star and is knocking on the door of superstardom. Both of those guys in your backcourt, that is a lethal combination, and it would be hard on a night-to-night basis to stop that duo. So absolutely, I can understand why the Knicks want to go after Murray, and I want Murray on this team. I'm on record in stating that I want Dejounte Murray and Jalen Brunson sharing a backcourt together and on the same team because I think it could work. And in my opinion, I think Murray might be the best backcourt fit with Jalen Brunson in it because they just fit so well. Jalen with his scoring, Murray with his size, not only his scoring, but his defense and his steals. It just sounds so magical. I hope the Knicks can get it done. And if Leon Rose gets this meeting done with Rich Paul, which it seems like, according to Steph Bondy of the New York Post, they are close to getting done. Once that happens, and hopefully it goes well, the next move right after that, the next major move Leon Rose is doing is trading for Dejounte Murray. I don't know when. I don't know how soon after, but I know that's going to be the move. Whether you think it's a star move, all-star move, superstar move, that doesn't matter. What matters is that trade is likely going to happen. You notice when the Knicks were linked to Zach LaVine, a lot of these reports didn't come out. And as we just heard from Steph Bondy, one of the main reasons it likely didn't come out was because the Knicks didn't really want Zach LaVine. They didn't really have high interest in him. So because of that, they're looking elsewhere to see where they can find the player that they actually want. Murray is that player. Why didn't a sit-down meeting ever happen when LaVine was on the table? Because they didn't really want LaVine. The reason this is happening now is because Murray is on the table. And Murray, as you just heard, is an ideal candidate, an ideal trade target for the New York Knicks. When he's your ideal trade target and he's on the market, you're going to do whatever you need to do in order to get him on your team, in order to get him on your roster. And if that means swallowing your pride, having a meeting, going to dinner, clearing the air with Rich Paul and Klutch Sports, that's what you're going to do. And it seems that's exactly what Leon Rose and the Knicks are prepared to do. Dejounte Murray seems like he's their guy, and he seems like he's worth it to Leon Rose in order to have this meeting, clear the air, and hopefully trade for him. Step 1, meet with Rich Paul, have a great meeting, and clear the air. Step 2, trade for Dejounte Murray. And absolutely, if the Knicks were to pull that off, as Bondy stated, it would be the biggest trade under Leon Rose. It may not be saying much, but it's saying a lot more than we've seen over the last few seasons. Bondy also noticed something very important in his article. He mentioned the following: whether or not there are factors in the Klutch beef that are known, but regardless, the front office has a perception problem around the league, not just with one agency. Multiple agents and NBA personnel have expressed concern to me that the Knicks are too closely associated with CAA, where Rose served as the head of basketball divisions before taking over the Knicks. It looks like Leon Rose and the New York Knicks have a lot of damage control to do, not just with Klutch Sports, but with a lot of different league personnel around the NBA. Because as we just heard, this is not just with one agency. Multiple agents and NBA personnel have expressed concern to Steph Bondy that the Knicks are too closely associated with CAA. That is not something that you want to have being an issue around the league. You don't want the entire NBA thinking that only CAA clients are allowed to be part of the New York Knicks or allowed on the roster. Because if that's what happens, if that's the perception that you have out there, it's going to be very hard to shake it, especially if NBA personnel believe it and are spreading it across multiple different channels. And if NBA reporters like Steph Bondy are writing about this stuff, that's a little bit concerning to me. Bondy put it perfectly here. Perception problem. Absolutely true. Around the league, the New York Knicks are perceived in a different manner than other NBA teams. And oftentimes, that's not a good thing. That's a problem. The Knicks and Leon Rose have to fix their perception. And I don't think they've really done a good job of that over the last few seasons. But they are still trying to fix that perception that a lot of NBA personnel have of them around the league. They don't want to be seen as a laughingstock. They don't want to be seen as a team that gets fleeced a lot. And they certainly don't want to be seen as that team that when you trade for them or you trade with them, that you have to give up a lot of assets in order to make it seem like it was a fair trade with the New York Knicks. Because that's what seems to be the case. there seems to be this magic of Knicks tax that if you don't fleece the Knicks in any deal you do with them, then you did not come out ahead. And that's the thing that we have to stop and kill, in my opinion. That whole narrative that if you don't fleece the Knicks, you don't win a trade. That shouldn't be the case. Trades should be as fair as possible for both sides. Are they always fair to the 100%? No, and that's never going to be the case. But they should be as fair as possible. One team shouldn't absolutely fleece the other team. That should never happen. But with the New York Knicks, in almost every trade you look back that they've made, they've likely been fleeced in those deals. Either we're not patient enough, or a report comes out stating that if we don't act fast, we can miss our opportunity. Something like that happens that pushes the Knicks' hand, makes them make a move, and then after that move happens, we wonder how we got here. I can say under Leon Rose, while he hasn't made a move, and that is something to critique him on, he hasn't made the wrong move. And honestly, if you don't make a move, of course you're not going to make the wrong move. When you don't make any moves, it's hard to make a wrong move. But that doesn't give him any excuses. You still have to make a move. Regardless of anything, you have to upgrade this talent and you have to upgrade this roster. You are watching this team day in and day out, just like I am. And you know, just like I know, that this team needs a talent upgrade. Fix your relationship with Rich Paul, trade for Dejounte Murray, get more role players on this roster that fit, and make the Knicks finally be a legit contender in the Eastern Conference. Knicks fans have waited long enough. We've been patient long enough. It's time. Let's get that star in here. Let's get those real pieces in here. And let's start surrounding the players, stars, and talent we already have with better pieces so we can actually compete in the Eastern Conference, but even more than that, compete in the NBA. Knicks fans deserve it. Leon Rose, it looks like you're about to make a major move. I hope that's true. I also hope it's the right one. What about you guys? What do you think about Leon Rose potentially having this meeting really soon with Rich Paul, hopefully clearing the air and setting the stage for him potentially trading for Dejounte Murray? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.